I just found this so sort of shocking. You'll recall, I can't remember which hospital it was. Is the Al-Shifa hospital? Was that the first one that they attacked? And I can't remember when this was. A year ago? More? When Israel first hit the first hospital that they bombed in Gaza, there was so much attempt by the Israelis and its apologists in this country to argue that there was a underground bunker. There were animated videos that were coming out. There were, testimonies. Now, the fact is, the bunkers were definitely there because they were built by the Israelis when they last occupied Gaza, underneath that hospital. There's no doubt. There's tunnels throughout Gaza. They sent people down there. These underground bunkers were not nearly as impressive, these huge command centers that they said. But then there was talk like, well, we didn't actually bomb a hospital. It was actually Hamas that accidentally bombed the hospital. And then at one point, it just became so obvious that Israel was on a genocidal campaign to ethnically cleanse Gaza. After they blew up all the universities, they started blowing up churches and mosques. And they just started to willy-nilly shell hospitals. That the idea of even them putting out some type of like alibi became like, it wasn't even worth it for them because no one believed it. They didn't believe it. They knew people didn't believe it. They just had, and it was quite clear, no one was going to stop them from bombing hospitals or bombing anything for that matter in Gaza. They never even did the lip service to it anymore. And so I mean, I imagine there are some people who respond to this and think it's outrageous. But I am just sort of shocked at the audacity that this is going to create sympathy, or that there's like play this.
And move. Right next to it is a children's ward, a baby's ward, infants. They target it. They can give this nonsense.
This is Netanyahu complaining that the Iranians, after they were bombed, and listen, just because you kill scientists, incidentally, scientists are civilian, but just even if you kill scientists, it doesn't say you don't get away with like, we don't really pay attention to the other 25 people who he killed, who lived in that building, and his family. This hospital is near a military base. The military base was also hit. But here is Netanyahu trying to drum up outrage about a strike on a hospital.
Baby's ward, infants. They target it. They can give this nonsense that they're targeting military sites. What military sites? I know all the military sites in Israel. There isn't a military site here for miles and miles around. They're targeting civilians because they're a criminal regime. They're the arch terrorists of the world. They want to have nuclear terrorism, which will put the entire world under nuclear blackmail, and they would use these weapons. That's what the Ayatollah Khamenei says that he would do. He would use these weapons to wipe Israel off the map. Well, he's not going to. We're not going to let him. And we're in the process of achieving a tremendous victory. And our victory is aimed at those two goals. People ask me, are we targeting the downfall of the regime? That may be a result, but it's up to the Iranian people to rise for their freedom. Freedom is never cheap. It's never free. Freedom requires these subjugated people to rise up, and it's up to them.
It's almost like a parody. freedom requires oppressed people to rise up. Like, you could take everything he's saying and it could be instructions to Palestinians living in the West Bank and Gaza. The talk of bombing hospitals and like how completely out of control that regime must be. And the idea that they're threatening nuclear weapons. I mean, they're talking about using tactical nukes on Iran. Like, all of this, it's literally like, it's just mind blowing. I mean, you know, hypocrisy, things like this. It's almost as if it's written by a playwright or a screenwriter. I'm going to have the Netanyahu character say these things. And it's going to be my way of like, these are things that could be said by other people about it. It's that almost literary and absurd. Go ahead.
Create conditions that will help them do it. Our goal is twofold. Nuclear, ballistic missile, we're going to remove that. We are in the process of completing removing this threat. אנחנו הצבנו שתי מטרות.
Okay. We don't need the part that is, we just needed the part that was for American consumption.
Where he repeats all the bromides that sort of game our system and get, you know, bipartisan support in Congress.
Exactly. I mean, it's just shocking. UNICEF is reporting right now that there is a, well, they call it a man-made drought. I mean, we know who's creating that drought. It's not like the Gazans, the Palestinians in Gaza are, they're using too much water for their crops right now. Only 40% of drinking water production facilities in Gaza are operational, according to UNICEF. There's a 50% rise in malnutrition cases among children aged 6 months to 5 years. Yesterday, at least 25 people were killed by Israeli fire while seeking aid. That's according to local health authorities. I mean, it's just insane. Absolutely insane. To hear him talk that way, it's just, it's crazy. I just can't imagine that there's anybody out there who is responding to this stuff. But there is. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.